of you think, okay, well, how in the world am I going to get all of this type of training on this? My advice is to jump right in, not unlike one of the famous method books. You jump right into this. You get online. You start asking the internet. You contact people that you know. You get onto Twitter. You find the musicpln.org and other things like it, and you start asking questions because it goes back to the beginning. This help now is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't be afraid of the technologies because the technologies themselves are going to help you get better at them. It kind of sounds like a paradox or an oxymoron, but the technologies themselves are creating exactly what we're trying to do, which is collaborate, communicate, and share information. So how can PLNs help with this? Well, they actually go on and they list a number of skills that are required in this document. They have collaboration skills, creativity skills, innovation skills. I'm going to just continue this. Information literacy skills, media literacy skills, and about maybe 15 more. The one common goal to all of these is communication, collaboration, sharing, and the processing of information. That's exactly what we've all been trying to do with these personal and professional learning networks. We put out information, we talk about the information, we collaborate with it, we add to it, and then we put it out there again through sharing it. And in order to start understanding some of these technologies as music teachers, we kind of have to start immersing ourselves in them, especially if we haven't been doing so. This technology is not going away. There's a number of interesting socioeconomic reports that talk about this in relationship to business. And one of the stunning statements that I've read about that is if your business is going to exist in the next 5 to 10 years, you have to have a social media presence. That is that the public relations and the advertising in their particular venue is so important that they get tapped into these social network environments that if they don't, they may find themselves without a business. It's a little bit scary when you start to think about things like that. So shoring up your own online related skills. It's no longer a matter of you having to learn these online related skills at some point. It's a matter of why haven't you? And so the question is, what has stopped you? And I always get from music teachers various reasons. Well, we don't have time to do it. Our school isn't actually doing it yet, or our professional development. They never do anything specifically for us, or we don't have access to professional development, or they don't have an expert. Again, I put forth the answer to that is that with the advent, especially in the last year to 2 years of this close network of artists that are sharing through blogs, through professional conferences. Doing the Technology Institute of Music Educators has been around a long time and helping people do this for years upon years.
Hey, Joe.
Hello.
Just want to let you know that you have a few minutes left, and we're going to need to take some questions soon.
That's not me.
I have no idea who it is.
Hysterical. Whoa, who was that? That was awesome. Am I still on?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. Did you guys hear that? That was the Andy Griffith single ladies thing. Who did that? That was crazy.
Yeah, they heard it, but everyone's muted, so that's just very strange.
That is just crazy. Okay. All right, well, I have to tell you, that is a really cool song, by the way. That's a cool record. All right, well, that was exciting. All right, so anyway, shoring up your own online-related skills, I'm going to close this down after this, is that we're there. People are out there. If you get involved in Twitter, themusicpln.org, this information is available to you 24/7, all year long, and you no longer have to wait for this information or these type of collaborative things to come to you. You can go to them. This stuff is now available. And then finally, I was going to talk about this, but we're kind of out of time. But I think one of the pinnacles that we're doing right now with professional development is an example of METOS, where we have an online webinar through WebEx. We have the inclusion of downloadables at the end of the summit. It's virally being advertised through Twitter, through Facebook, through bloggers. There's Cover It Live coverage of this and through social networking. The actual tweets are being archived so that they can be mined later for information. It's freely available, and we can replicate this. Maybe not necessarily in this particular form, but we can replicate it in a similar form. And so I hope to see many more things like METOS, becoming available to you all through online. So I'll just stop right there, and I'll take any questions if you have them.
Okay, so this is Marika. Go ahead.
Not sure if my microphone is working or not.
Yes, it is.
You're just fine.
I'm just wondering if you have a site available with recommended iPhone applications or iPad or whatever.
I can tell you that that my website has a number of them. So does Thomas West. But one of the biggest things that's happening for that is on the musicpln.org. There's actually an iPad music application forum, and there's literally dozens of things being talked about in there right now. So I would encourage you to check that out and take advantage of that resource, and also ask your own questions. If you don't find a particular type of software there that you're looking for, ask, and you'll probably get the answer.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so that is Matthew Etherington, and you are on. Go ahead.
Hi, firstly, thanks very much for the presentation. I'm enjoying it. A lot of information. I had a question about sort of information overload, and there are so many channels for information now, and I've got Facebook, and I've got Twitter, and I've got emails, and there's 5 different things I hear about each day. I'm just kind of interested to know, how do you aggregate or channel that in a way that stops it from being overwhelming, or just keeps it in a way that you can kind of manage to keep track of everything? Do you kind of hone into a couple of those things, or is there a way that you manage that information?
That is a great question. I can tell you that one of my goals in research here for the last 5 years has been trying to answer that and also present solutions for that. I keep track of every day what's happening on Twitter. For some people, that's still a little bit overwhelming. I also have started a website called musicednews.com. I'll just punch this in the little thing over here, where it's actually aggregating musicednews.com. It's actually aggregating about 70 RSS feeds from the top folks that are writing right now online about music education. And it's a great site to go to. So that's something that almost anybody can go to and not get overwhelmed with. But that being said, I keep pushing people back to the musicpln.org because it's very simple. Right now, folks that are using Twitter can bring that information into the musicpln. Folks that are using Facebook can bring that information in. Or you can just go on to the musicpln at one site, start to read about all of these things on there. So the first step I would tell people that wanted to get kind of involved or tapped into what's going on, maybe the easiest step is to get onto the musicpln.org and then start looking at a number. There has to be at least 24 articles written by music educators right now about how to participate via Twitter and through RSS feeds. But maybe start first on the musicpln, where it's just a little bit simple and easier format to get on. But I stay in touch all the time. I have RSS feeders. For me, Twitter is gigantic. I check Twitter more than I check my email. It's part of what I do. Do I expect everyone to do that? No, I don't. But if you start to tap into some of these keywords on Twitter, again, the information that you're probably looking for will start to find you rather than you having to look for it. So I'd encourage you to look at the musicpln.org first, and then start expanding into Twitter and some of the other social networks that we're all trying to make easier right now for educators to find and to use.
Okay, Joe, I am going to take presenter controls back from you and turn them over to Jason Panucci. And if there are other questions, you can always email Joe directly. Joe, if you can put your email address up there for everyone. But Jason